I was checking into that because I was gonna put it in one of my properties, and I was like, it was more expensive when I was searching it online. So I'm like, oh, okay, it doesn't seem worth it. But um, compared to Xfinity and all that I have, so
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, it's a one-time buy, and then the $50 a
Mhm.
month payment is just
Where did you get it? Did you get it directly from them?
directly from Tesla. Yep.
Tesla. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Oh, nice. Bruce said he's sometimes sees some promo ads for 0 to 100 bucks for the equipment. Okay, Ashley says, how do we do this if we use other people's money but don't sell and rent it instead? I need a more specific question in order to answer it, but I'm happy to.
Hey, sorry, I
Hi.
decided to walk around. So my question is more so, um, so you know how we like use like 401ks and stuff, and all my people, I'm walking back in my office seconds. Um, how, because we're not returning their money sooner, how does that work to rent a property? And they would be getting that cash flow, but um not they wouldn't get that immediate 6 to year month when we like do a fix and flip.
So one of the things that I've watched people like blow themselves up and ruin a deal, and then the opposite of how they avoided a disaster is if we're going to be borrowing 401k money and we're going to be doing a long-term strategy. Like I have a commercial property we're going to be turning into apartment buildings. That's a long strategy. I told my lender who's using a retirement account
Mhm.
10 years. I'm not doing a 1 year, a 2 year, a 3 year. We're not hoping this is a 10-year product, a 10-year process, but the end result, we're going to make so much money. So I gave him, when I, and you give them choices. People like choices. So I said, if we do a 10-year interest only payments, it'll look like this. Or we'll do a 10-year mortgage where you get principal and interest. So you're getting some of your capital back every month. Um, it depends on your deal if you could do that or not, right? Because the interest only payments like half or less than a mortgage payment.
Mhm.
But in that scenario, he decided to go for the principal and interest payments, which reduces his risk because he's now getting some of that principal back each month. I said, okay, well, if it's less risky, we're going to pay less interest
Mhm.
because now you want some of that money back sooner. So we ended up on a 6% 10-year mortgage.
There
Now, if
you
it
go.
was interest only, he would be getting 10 or 11%, but then I would have that big balloon 10 years from now. But now I'm happy with it because in 10 years it'll be paid off and the asset will be worth at a bare minimum double in 10 years. But if not, 4 or 5x because of what we added to it. So these short-term loans are I don't like them. They rush your decision making. Have you ever noticed your decision making quality goes down when you're in a rush? Yeah.
Yeah.
So the conversation I had with the guy, we talked about inflation. We talked about how said this going back into his retirement account, and it's a Roth IRA that everything's going to be tax free now that he's done the Roth conversion, and it's a set it and forget it. It's like you could put it in a bond portfolio or an index, but you know it's going to go up and down. And folks, one thing that really helps. Let's go to the whiteboard real quick because if you can point out two things that they never saw before, you will be the expert. So let's see. Got my whiteboard up here. Bang! Look at that. GM. Okay, it's working. Okay. If someone is in their traditional 401k and traditional 401ks, let's say they're getting 5% APR per year. They're also paying brokerage fees and yeah, we'll just say like 1% brokerage fees or sometimes 0.5%. But here's what's going to happen. Let's say you have $100,000 in there. We'll do some simple math. $100,000. And then you lose 10%, but gain 10%. Okay. In English, and guys, remember what we talked about with fast thinking and slow thinking parts of our brain? Fast versus slow thinking. If you guys haven't read the book, Thinking Fast and Slow, mandatory reading, in my opinion. I just lent it out. But I also got the kid version of that book because I want my boy to be thinking fast and slow. Like we were doing this thing and he immediately blurted out an answer. And I was like, no, sir, I know that sounds right, but that was your fast thinking brain. Let's go through it and break it down. Slow thinking. So fast and slow thinking. The guy won a Nobel Peace Prize for economics, or not, a Nobel Prize for economics. Anyway, amazing book. Okay, so the fast part of your brain, which most people will live in because it's way easier, less energy. Most people live in there. 99% of humans live in fast thinking. So you hear this sentence. Hey, 401k owner, I'm your broker. Here's your quick report. This year we lost 10%, but we gained 10%. And this is the conversation I had with my lender and have had with several lenders because I want to show them how safe it is to work with me versus leave it over there in the 401k. So what really happened to this person's portfolio? Sounds like they're back to 100%. But if 100 loses 10%, what are we at? 90. Yeah? Okay. And then 90 gains 10%. What are we at? What's 10% of 90?
9. So it'd be
9. So we're at 99. We started out at 100 and now we're at 99. So we're down. Even though in the language, it sounded like we're back where we started. Do you want to see if you lose 50% but gain 50%? So 100 minus 50% is 50. 50 plus 50% is, what's 50% of 50? What's half of 50? 25. So we add 25 to 50. We're at 75. Uh-oh. So one thing you need to understand in gains and losses, there's a chart. I'm going to just draw it crudely, but essentially, if your losses are linear, just to catch up, your gains need to be exponential just to break even. Okay. So if you put your deal into your money into my real estate deal, we are getting rid of the lose 10% possibility. Okay, this is collateral backed. It's not index based where we're going up and down, up and down. This is now, one of the safest things you could do. So safe that that's what banks do. The whole thing is, the whole banking industry is built off of asset-backed loans. So people don't think about it, but you're lending your 401k, you're lending it to a broker who's gambling with it. If you roll it over, self-direct it, and invest it in a deal, It's the same lending, but we've removed the gambling aspect of it. We can control it a lot more. So I had just this, 15, 20-minute conversation with our guy, and he was new. He's totally new to the thing. He's software, something. He doesn't look at money markets, real estate, anything. He just has a decent job and a 401k. So when I started having this conversation with people, a lot more funds started coming my way. And then I just built it on a 10-year for my commercial build outs. There was another one we did that was just 1 year. And that was 6% interest, but interest only payments. So I said, all right, if it's interest only payments a year from now, the deal will be so productive, I'll have more than the equity to pay you back. Get the book, Thinking Fast and Slow. I'm now on my third read. It's helped me catch so many. We have so many biases. Recency bias, cost sunk bias. They've documented over 1,000 cognitive biases that disrupt our decision making, and of course, banks use that against us. So you need to get trained up so you can see reality. Okay, I'm just going through the chats here. There we go, Bruce. You might got it, 99.75. There we go. Share the link to our YouTube channel. Oh, thanks, Doug. So Laura, Doug dropped that in the chat for you. So yeah, if you ever want to catch recordings of our calls, Jasmine has been volunteering her time every week to upload them to our YouTube channel. Guys, we have the coolest team. We are all working, volunteering, helping each other succeed in a big way. So to all the people in the background who don't get recognized enough, thank you for your volunteering, your work, your insight. It's making a difference. Okay, so yeah, let's talk. So Ashley's got some ideas about marketing and building up a big team. Let's talk about it. So yeah, go ahead. What's on your mind, Ashley?
So I just moved here about 2.5 months ago from a military town out in North Carolina. It's coastal, so it's close to also what are uh those people we call when they come in town, you know,
Snowbirds.
yeah. So snowbirds come, all the people come for vacations, all the things, right? So you have this like amazing opportunity. It's a flowing market for rentals. Which now that you've taught me the long-term thing, we do have one rental in North Carolina. Um, it wasn't ideal. Okay, it wasn't ideal because we didn't know we were moving 4 months ago.
Yeah.
Um, So, with that being said, I want to build a team. I have so many friends and family, well, friends that are family out there, and I want to know community is hardcore. How do we teach them, but give them the community? And I understand like I can go out there anytime, and that's not a big deal. But I want them to feel that community because that's what made the difference for me. I mean, granted, I was brand new to Utah, um, but just feeling like there are people right there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Your four core beliefs, get it. I was like, what are you writing?
Yeah. This is going to help you build a team.
Hmm.
Okay. I needed to ingrain it in my subconscious mind when I first learned this. So what I did is I went to a t-shirt print shop and I printed 25 shirts with each line, so 100 shirts total for each of the 4 beliefs, and then I passed them out to all of my friends, all the team members that I would see every week. And so then when we go do our other events and social events, and we're not wearing our suits and our nice clothes, we got the t-shirts on, and it's just this constant reminder everywhere I looked. I'm programming my subconscious mind about what we're doing here. Everyone needs Renatus. We're doing them a favor. It's their loss if they say no, and this is the best opportunity. So one thing that will help you is making it part of your core. So when you're talking to them, even when they have doubt and disbelief and negativity, it doesn't shake you because it's at your core. Say, well, you're just afraid, or you just don't know. You're reading propaganda. Let me help you. Um, if they don't want the help, then we just go straight to number 4. It's their loss if they say no. I'm not going to lose. I just want to make
My
sure you.
biggest, oh, sorry. Go ahead, sir.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
My biggest, yeah, like I believe the core beliefs. My thing is how my dog's about to bark, just so you know. Um, how do we go about giving them the community so they are plugged in at all times? When they are 3,000 miles apart from us.
Yeah. I think one of the easiest things is the ISN, right? Like that daily calendar. The We also have the Team Elevate Facebook page, which um, has been like a catch-all for every Renatus student. ISN is more focused on Mitch and Maley, but I have the bigger team out there as well. If someone wants to drop a link to that, or I can grab it. Um, when dealing with warm market for me versus some ding dong on a cold call, you could hang up at any second. Patience is required. Be prepared for every kind of what if and scrutiny. But when you don't back down from that after like 5 or 10 minutes, they kind of run out of things to say about how it's never going to work. And then when they realize they didn't scare you away with their negativity, that it must be a real thing. I mean, if they're kind of like testing you, like if it was some silly drink that was supposed to, give you 100 pounds of muscle in a year, and you just drink it every day, whatever, it could push you away so easily. But with real estate, it's like we can point at it. 10 years ago, you should have bought more. 20 years ago, you should have bought more. They're printing more money in 10 years. How do you want to feel? Do you want to feel regret or satisfaction that you did something? Because all of the clues are there. All of the information is there. They're saying, hey, Americans, if you own assets, you benefit. If you don't, you suffer. I'm not saying it's a good system. I don't like it. I don't like that it creates suffering. It pisses me off that some people have to lose because of how the banks operate. It's unfortunate, but we can reduce the suffering with education. There are $100,000 programs out there. They're going to take your money and leave you high and dry. There are, $100 programs that don't deliver jack. We have found the sweet spot where there's enough skin in the game, enough money to keep paying the corporation, keep the lights on, and then pay all the students to spread the word. But I've also met people with a $200,000 student loan mess. They got a master's degree in economics and finance, and they don't know what our students know about the 401k class. 8 hours. And they spend 10 times more in 6 years and broke their brain, and they still don't have the right numbers to come out and make a lifestyle for themselves. So the other part of this too is you have to have what's called a release statement. Okay. A release statement takes the pressure off of them needing to agree with you, because they're your friends. They want to be nice. But a release statement is, look, if it's not for you, you know your situation better than me. If it's not for you, I 100% get it. Allow them to say yes. It gives them the right to say no and allows them to say yes. The opposite is what's called a box-in statement. And if you've ever like gone to a gym and sat down and looked at their gym memberships, those type of salespeople use the box-in statements like, you love your body, don't you? Well, then of course you'll sign up for this gym. And they don't give you any sort of out. You've been boxed in and you have to agree with them or contradict yourself. And we hate contradicting ourselves, and we end up agreeing with them and saying the stupid thing. And then we walk into the car and we go, why do we do that? Ugh, I hate those people. Do not do the box in. Always give them an out. You know your skills set, your desire better than me. If you don't want to do this, I don't want you to do it. I just want to make sure you knew what I'm up to. And then the wall comes down, and then they want to look over. Oh, well, what are you working on? Um, and then a story. Do you have a quick story of somebody that you've met in the program that you could share a 30-second version of?
Oh, for sure. I'm in a great community here in Salt Lake, but also Tooele. We live in the Tooele. We're a whole community. And so, yeah, I've got plenty of stories like stacked in my brain, but also my own that makes so much sense of getting out of the rat race of my family's gone in bankruptcy. So we went in bankruptcy, and I want to stop that generational curse.
Yep. Yep, exactly. I mean, how many people are like 1 month away from a bankruptcy and they don't even realize it? It's because they're printing the money and they don't have assets.
And the door knocking is really like made me feel so helpful. And I know not everybody likes door knocking. It doesn't bother me. I'm a very outgoing person. And no doesn't hurt me because I know there's coming a yes. But
Mhm.
my biggest thing is if somebody had knocked on my door right before bankruptcy and asked to buy us out, like I would have known God was right there and asking. You know what I'm saying? Like I had no idea. But instead, they sent flyers, they sent things. They didn't knock on my door. They didn't make that personal connection. They did what was needed. Or like for me, I want to do that in your face, be able to make you believe that we can help you.
Yep, door knocking is a game changer. I mean, like, yeah, that whole thing about like an answer to a prayer kind of thing, because
Mhm.
how easy is it that you could have parked on a different street and started knocking over there? Or that they had to go grab something from the post office and missed your door knock, and like all these things had to line up for that thing to happen for them. That, yeah, I think that there is some intention behind it and it's not random.
Correct.
So that's one of the benefits of being a human, right? We get to go and influence our environment in a big way. So the release statement, things like, you know your situation better than me. So if it's not for you, then it's not for you. There are some like little antagonistic release statements you could do. I've heard Richard say sometimes. I don't know if it helped to make any more friends or not, but he would say, you know what, you're right. You probably can't do it. I'll go find a girl who can. Depends on which friend and how you want that release statement to land. But you must avoid the box in. It is yucky. People can see it from a mile away. And and that was all I knew coming into this program was box in stuff. Like working at the auto shop, it's like, hey, you want your car to last, right? You need to do your brakes now. You need to do your tires. Like there was no release statement. Uh and part of it was safety, but like this is such a different art form and I mean, yeah, your tires and your brakes are kind of like you need assets and an equity account, or else how are you steering your financial ship? So Pete had a question last night. I was talking to him, and it seemed like it might be a relevant exploration for all of us to hear. He's been doing velocity banking, paying off some debt. He's got some 1099 income. He bought a house. He rents out the basement. He's got a whole bunch of stuff going on. I'm like, Pete, maybe we should do a whiteboard thing on this. So, um, Pete, are you open to doing it in the group? I know I'm putting you on the spot, or would you rather it just be you and me?
Oh no, the more we learn, the better. That's what we're here for. Let's learn together.
Okay, excellent. So, tell me about the house. How much did you pay for it? How much do you owe, and what is it worth now?
Okay, we bought the house for 425. We put a big down payment on it. We owe 217 right now on it. So the value is around $600,000.
Okay. So, um, last night when we were talking, you said you want to get out of debt. You want to get out of debt. You want to get out of debt. And I started thinking about that last night, that in America, the way they print money and the way the banking system works is you're actually rewarded to have debt. So getting out of debt, although it might feel good, maybe on the chart, it doesn't look good.
I
Anyway,
was looking at I was looking at the end game because I'm getting close to the end of my life. And I don't want to leave my wife hanging with a lot of debt she's got to pay every month.
right. No, I get the motivation for sure. You're wanting to set up the grandkids so that they're taken care of for college funds and all that stuff too. Like you, I love that you're thinking long term, but wealthy people, they buy, borrow, and spend. Now, what you spend on determines if you're going to stay wealthy or not, right? If you
Right.
spend another asset, then what that allows you to do is then borrow again. And so this process, if done without emotion, is how you create the wealth that you're after. If your family inherits $1 million of debt from what you've set up, but it's on a $5 million asset, does it matter that they inherited $1 million of debt? Of course, if they can't service the debt and they lose the
No.
4 million in equity, we'll have a problem. But if you got 4 million in equity on a $1 million debt, $5 million asset, what can you do? You could go and borrow more against it, spend it on an asset that's making money, and wash, rinse, repeat. Because if you sell it, what happens? You lose the asset, you create a taxable event, so you lose even more. Um, so yeah, you'll need your trust, you'll need a succession plan. But I don't think the getting out of debt goal will give you as much financial benefit. Now might give you more peace of mind benefit too. So
But it's for
that's a,
my wife, not the kids.
gotcha. But then when she goes, she's gonna give it to the grandkids, right?
Right.
Not the
But
kid.
I'm worried about her, not the kids, grandkids.
Gotcha. Okay, so you owe 217. What's your payment on that 217?
About $1,300 a month.
Is that including insurance and taxes?
No, it's 1,600 with PTI,
But just for the debt is 1,300.
roughly. Yeah, it's about $200 a month for insurance, taxes, and stuff like that. So I pay a total payment now of $1,600 a month.
Okay. Insurance is gonna go up and taxes are gonna go up.
Yes, they have about $100 in the last 3 years.
Yep. And so over the next 3 years, yeah, we can count on 100 of each of those going up again.
Yep.
Okay. So right now, if it's 600 and we're at 217, we're at approximately 37% LTV.
Looks good.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Now, if we need to run an if scenario to see if it'll be worth it. So if
Thought experiment.
yeah, if appreciation, I'm just gonna put APP is 5% constant, right? Sometimes it'll appreciate 10, but then it might only appreciate 1 the next year, and have this range, but let's say 5% over the next 10 years. What will the house be worth if it appreciates 5% a year for the next 10 years? What will 600,000 turn into?
900,000.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna ask an AI robot real quick,
Okay.
just so we get the answer right.
So that's 50% over a 10-year period.
Yeah. I mean, slow thinking parts of our brain. It sounds right. Let's just make sure it's right.
But it might not be compounded.
What will my $600,000 house be worth in 10 years if it appreciates 5% a year? Short answer, I don't like it when the robot gives me a whole freaking thing. Just want an answer. 977,000.
Good guess.
Good guess. For 10 years, 600K turns into 977K. Isn't that nuts? You didn't do
Yeah.
anything different. You just sat. And it's now worth almost $1 million at 5%. Hey, there's another way of looking at it. 5% doubles in 14.4 years. Yep. Yep. Okay, so now we have this in our little memory bank. And that's pretty interesting. You get almost $1 million at only 5%.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now, 217,000 in debt is costing you 1,300 a month. And what you would like to do is access some of this equity, pay off credit card.
Yes.
Okay. Approximately
I
how
don't
much?
owe a lot, but I owe it all right now. It's like a wall coming at you. It's not a big wave, but it is a wave. You can't get over the top of it.
Yeah. Okay, so how much do you need to pay off in credit cards, roughly speaking?
About 100K
About 100K in
for
credit.
all the debts, different loans and stuff like that.
Well, what's just credit cards?
Oh, about 40,000.
40. Okay. 40K in credit cards. Okay, so if you could pay that off, how much interest is that taking per month right now?
About 29.9%.
Woo!
Yep. They're high interest credit cards.
30% of 40,000 is 12,000. So you're paying $1,000 a month.
Yeah. That's why I needed to get that paid off. It's really picking my pockets. Every month I feel like I'm being robbed.
Yeah, we all are.
It sneaks up on you too. It was not a big deal when I had a higher pension, but when they cut my pension in February, I felt it immediately.
And that's the thing too. They'll say things like, "Hey, we're not going to touch Social Security. We're not going to touch Medicaid, Medicare. We're not going to touch it." So then everyone still gets the same dollar amount per month, but since they printed more dollars, it buys less. But they didn't cut. They didn't cut. They didn't cut. So it's all fugazi, right? Lose 10, gain 10. You're still down.
Yep. The house wins.
House wins. It's like a subconscious reminder. Buy a house. The house wins.
I mean, Vegas,
I
Reno.
know. I know.
They're gambling with your money and they always win.
Always win.
So
Crazy.
let's fix it. Let's change the tables.
Okay, so what I'm understanding here is that you can afford $1,000 a month. You would just rather it not be going to interest, but to building equity and getting out of
Debt,
debt.
debt reduction. Yeah.
Okay,
Then I can buy more real estate.
exactly. Okay, so in order to, let's say we go up to 50% LTV. So a 50% LTV would put you at 300,000. So there's approximately 80,000 liquidity to get access to that I think you could easily afford.
Especially with replacing a high interest debt.
So that's where you have to talk to a lender too, and you say, hey, you can, I don't need all 80 and then you hope that I pay the credit card. You can send checks to here, here, and here and pay it all off and only give me the 40. And that way you know that that $1,000 a month is no longer going to that lender, and I can redirect it back to that second position mortgage that you gave me for 80,000. And then
Instead
you'll
of
get
getting a
40.
HELOC, get a second position mortgage.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I think long term for your setup, it'll be easier to to play this 10-year game out.
Mm-hmm. And I
Okay.
got a PLOC for 15 grand. I could chunk down the mortgage real quick with that.
Right. If that becomes important to you. But remember, debt free is not what wealthy people do.
Right. They
Wealthy
buy
people,
assets to pay their bills.
yeah, they're playing that borrow game in there. So debt free sounds nice, but you get left behind because of the debt structure of our country and the way the banking works. Okay, so now on this $80,000 loan where you're going to pay off your credit card and put 40K cash in the bank, 80,000 second at 8% interest would be about $500 a month for that 80. So now you're paying $1,800 a month instead of $2,300 a month. And you have 40 grand cash. And you still have the credit card liquidity in case you need it. Because right, you're not going to close the credit card, you're just going to pay them off. So what we're trying to do is make a plan where Jody doesn't have to worry in case something happens to you in an untimely fashion.
I've had several near misses.
Boy, howdy, we could make a whole podcast series about Pete's near misses.
Yeah. Got to take care of my goddess.
Yep. Okay, so right now the house debt, if we were to go with that scenario, that 80K here requires another $500 a month. So now you're into it 300,000 and you're paying 1,800 a month.
I might point out that $500 a month payment is replacing about $2,000 worth of debt payments every month
Yeah.
between the credit cards and I have a $40,000 note with my grandniece. I was taking care of her dad before he got killed, so I gave it to her as an inheritance. So that would literally replace about $2,000 worth of payments.
Sweet. Okay. So over the next 10 years, if you just left that on autopilot, because you have the VA medical benefit or the VA loan benefits, right?
Right.
So it's going to be prime plus one for a house. Let's say in I'm going to ask the robot for a 5-year number real quick. And 5 years. What would the value be in 5 years at 5%? It'd be 765. Okay, so if it's 5 years from now, it would be 765 as the value. And you would owe in 5 years the 217 plus the 80, so 300 in 5 years. You probably owe 280. Right, you pay down some of that debt in 5 years. 280K owed. You following this?
Yeah.
Okay. So if this is the value and that's what's owed, we're back down to the 30% LTV. Now, because you get the VA loans and you'll time your refi. Maybe it's 4 years from now, maybe it's 6 or 7 years from now. You'll time the refi based off of what the market is doing, but we got to start somewhere. And let's say because we know they're dropping rates, that in 5 years, let's say the interest is you can get a 4% mortgage. 4% mortgage with your VA loan. Now we'll pull out our fancy dancy mortgage calculator. And folks, if you don't know how to use a mortgage calculator, you must watch the seller finance note class. You are going to be scammed until you do. That's not the right word, but it's like you not being able to see the truth around loans and calculations if you don't understand this calculator. Okay, so 30-year loan on a mortgage, 4%, and let's say we only go up to 50% of the value. Okay, so 50% of the value would put us at 350, 35. So let's say 380. So now we're going to go get a loan for 380,000 in 5 years. And if it's at 4%, then we'll play it if it's at 6% also. So 380, boom, boom, makes your payment. Guess what? 1,800 a month for the PI. So if you refi, you owed 280 and we refi at 380, you now have $100,000 cash and a payment of 1,800 a month. And if you're prudent with this cash, you make it last another 5 years, combined with the other benefits that you're getting. And then you could do the same thing.
It looks like a do-it-yourself reverse mortgage.
There you go.
You're using the equity to supplement your income.
Because then you could put something like this into the portfolio for the kids to inherit with instructions on how to manage it so that your grandnieces and your grandchildren can get the benefits of this asset that you've been working on, right? It's
Yep.
technically a duplex, right? So
yeah, they had rent for a heck of a lot more than 1,800 a month.
Yeah, exactly. And so, in 5 years, what will rent be for an apartment? It'll be 2,000, 2,500, especially for a yard and privacy in a house and not an apartment. And what we're doing, folks, is we're not doing what mortgage brokers and realtors do, which mortgage brokers and realtors are going to tell you, why only 50%? Let's go to 99%. Why? Because their commissions are based off of what you borrow. So we're not trying to borrow the max. We're trying to borrow what makes sense for maintenance. All right, there's only three forces in the universe: creation, maintenance, and destruction. And money is the vibe of maintenance. So if we don't need an 80% LTV and we only need 50, almost every lender will go to you with a yes. Okay, so based off what we covered there, Pete, do you have any questions? And listeners, do you have any questions about what we've talked about?
One thing I might want to point out too, by using this strategy, I keep my lower interest rate loan that I got 3 years ago, because the new loan's going to have a higher interest rate.
Right. So what would it be if instead of this 4%, what if it's 6%?
And my loan right now is 5.25%, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's before it shot up to 6.5%, 7%.
So if it's 6%, then instead of it being 18, it would be 2,300.
Wow. Amazing what a couple points will do.
You would still have the 100K cash. I think that the slow and steady pace that you started out with, very conservative, purchase price 425, and you put down so much, kept it in a safe spot. But now the illiquidity of the real estate is cramping your style. All right. I just learned that the German word for real estate is immobile. No, I'm not saying it with a German accent because I don't do that. But immobile, immobile. Your real estate is immobile, and we need it to be liquid. We need to be able to move around. So, I think this way, instead of getting the HELOC, which the other thing about HELOCs is they reserve the right to change the interest rate. And so this is why I'm saying I think a second fixed is going to be better for your situation.
Right. And then if I get the money, chunk it down. So I got a PLOC.
If you get the money,
Yeah.
instead of chunk it down, if you get the money to spend, buy another asset.
Okay. So I got 15 grand laying around. Go buy another asset with the 15 grand.
Yep. Yeah,
In fact,
because of your retirement account income, your pensions, the Social Security. I mean, you got several sources of income, so it will take care of the debt. But then whatever assets you buy are going to produce more income, and so that will help take care of the debt to allow you to keep playing the game. Where people get hurt is they max out their borrowing. It's tempting, it's fun, it's the American way. Don't do it. 50%, 60, 70. With the thing I'm doing with my banker right now, he was like, hey, let's go up to 85. I said, no, 70, 65 maybe, but 70 max. And he's like, well, I can get you 85, which would be another almost $200,000 for me in cash. But I'm like, no, I don't want that. Maybe in a year or two. So
you have a reason to.
when I have a reason to, exactly. So there you go, Pete. Your 37% LTV is an attractive position. You could even go to someone with a 401k and say, hey, I'll give you a 6% mortgage, so you'll get 120% over 30 years. Here's my house. I want 300,000. It's worth 600. And don't get so wrapped up in the interest rate. Okay, sometimes it's worth looking at, but to me, it's the liquidity, because the liquidity will allow you to keep servicing and maintaining it. So if the bank comes back and says, hey, sorry, 7%, but here's your 100K cash, and you can use your 100K cash to go make 50 grand this year, then it doesn't matter if it's 4%, 6%, 8%. So it's called financial engineering, right? I'm not an attorney. I'm not a mortgage broker, financial officer, CPA, an accountant. None of that stuff. I just like looking at numbers and making sure that we're not falling for, because that's really what it is, man, is people just fall for it. They end up being house rich and cash poor. And if that's the position, you could lose the house. And then you lose your hundreds of thousands of equity that you built. So no. You cannot be cash poor and equity rich. It's too risky of a position to be in. Right? You're not going to sacrifice your bishop and your knight to save a pawn. That doesn't make sense.
But the pawn has a white picket fence.
A debt-free life in a debt-heavy economy is not the best.
Right. The assets are the best.
Assets protect you against the deflation of our currency.
You know,
Deflation of our currency.
Yeah. Interesting fact, Kennecott copper mine has so much gold and silver stored, if they ever released it, destroy the economy. They're required by law to keep it in storage. A lot of people don't know that.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, folks. Gold is not scarce. Diamonds are not scarce. They just keep it off
Artificial
the market.
scarcity.
Yep.
Like the Bears keep diamonds off the market to keep their value up.
What's scarce is dirt,
Yep.
land. So get it. Part of you, some of you guys haven't thought about it because it's not fun and exciting, but just land banking, right? If you got an extra 20 grand, go look at a trending market where it will be in 20 years and go buy 100 acres for 20 grand somewhere in the middle of America and just wait. And
That's what Merv Griffin did. He bought up all kinds of land out in the San Joaquin Valley. People thought he was nuts. When he died, he was one of the richest people in California.
yeah, so Ohio, the Carolinas are so undervalued right now. It's insane what people can pick up land for. So, 20 years from now, you'll go sell your 200 acres for 10x what you bought it for. And you didn't have to do insurance the same way and utilities the same way. You still have to pay the taxes, right? They'll steal from you that way with the property tax, but
You got to be careful about tax laws, though. If you buy land in Missouri, you have to pay Missouri income tax, even though you don't live there.
right. So that's what I was saying. Like, look around at your options for parking some land, but it's important to be thinking short term, how to pay the bills now. These 90-day deals, wholesaling, lease options, fix and flips, right? Paying the bills now, but then also be thinking 20 years from now, what benefits do you want? And you meet these contractors all the time joining Renatus because they've been just a contractor for 20 years and they weren't a buyer. And now they're getting into it. But don't be one of those people. You could end up being a contractor fix and flipper. And you psych yourself out and you think, oh, I've done 50 deals and I made money on each one, but you don't have any money. You don't have it because you had to spend it constantly. So anyway, there's making money, then there's wealth creation. And
I see one guy lose a lot of apartment buildings here in Ogden. He had them all leveraged to the max. He was extremely wealthy on paper, but when one guy didn't pay his rent, it caused a domino effect. He lost everything.
Yep. Which is another reason why we don't try to go for 90% LTVs, Awesome. All
Thank you
right.
for
Anyone else
guiding
have
us.
any aha moments or questions, ideas about this latest discussion?
In this case, lines of credit is not as good as a loan in this instance.
For your stability and what you're trying to do, Correct.
Right. Thank you. You helped me reset my mindset.
That's what we're here to do. Now, if you appreciate me, pay that forward to some new students. You know, take care of them, make sure that they're not doing crazy gambling stuff, that they're watching their classes, that you know, if they got questions in the Facebook or the ISN, that you're supporting them, and making sure that you tell everybody this is the best place to learn wealth creation real estate investing, looking at all aspects of it. So
I just got the book on Audible. I'm going to start playing it for my Uber and Lyft riders and explain how using that for wealth creation with real estate.
thinking fast and slow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Get people,
All right.
they don't want to be sold. I've had people complain to Uber and Lyft that I was trying to sell them on the education. I just mentioned what I did and they thought I was trying to sell them or something.
Well, you're gonna always get 5% turds. That's just part of our society.
Brown apples.
Yeah. Brown apples, that's a lot nicer way to say it.
I can't control who gets in my car.
Well, sell a couple more combos and you can kick everyone out of your car.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep spreading the good word. Go check in on people. You know, some of the follow-ups, these cash combos that I got were 3-year follow-ups. A couple texts, couple invites, couple times a year. One of them was 5 years before she finally showed up, and then she bought a cash combo, went and told 3 friends. She got 5-star. I made a bunch of money too. So just because they said no now doesn't mean no tomorrow. So get to work, folks.
No means not right now.
Yep. No means I don't know enough about why I should say yes. And we point out inflation and asset pricing and printing money and the benefits. And remember the core beliefs. They say no, it sucks to be them. Do them a favor though. All right. So one last thing, if you guys are interested, is I have that Genius course with Cosimo, where we're going to be going over how, where did I put it? How to train your brain. Where did I put it? Oh, not on any of these. For, yeah, I thought I had this tab pulled up. Learning blocks. There we go. If you guys want to come to the Learning Blocks workshop tonight, it is, you do need to pre-register so you can get the link. So here is the link for that. And essentially what we're doing is showing people why their study habits are holding them back, what they could do differently to get more out of their training. So you'll fill out this little form here, just drop my name in the bottom. But yeah, the learning blocks, student blocks, professional blocks, money blocks. It's something that you can easily overcome once you're aware of it, but then we'll show you how to study faster, memorize better, and ultimately all of that's going to translate into you being a better entrepreneur. Cosimo is working on a speed learning for real estate investors course because now I've turned him into a real estate investor. That's all he's been working on. A lot more investors have started showing up. So we've modified some of the training to be around entrepreneurs versus when he first came out, it was more geared towards people in college, medical school, law school that needed to memorize more technical stuff. And I'm like, dude, these entrepreneurs need it. And they're willing to pay more than some student people because they see a return, they see a profit on it. So anyway, if you feel like that would be a benefit to you, register, come join us. And then we also have one coming up next on the 14th. So if coming today doesn't make sense for your schedule, then come on the 14th. And I will drop the link to that right.
Is the 14th also Wednesday?
It's the 14th of Wednesday. I don't think so. No, it's a Thursday. But we'll be doing it at 4 p.m. Mountain Time on Thursday.
So tonight is better because Thursday you got to go to Epic. So be there tonight.
Yeah, if you can. But we'll be done. It's 4 to 6 Mountain Time on Thursday. So it'll be done. I told Cosmo we got to be done so people can do their 7 o'clock workshop. So anyway, come join us. Appreciate you. 77 days to E3. Get your ticket now. Early bird will be expiring soon. Stay focused, eyes on the prize. Don't fall for the distractions. You know where you're going, and we'll help you get there. Stay plugged in and keep spreading the good word. All right, folks. If you need me, message me, call me. I got your back, and we'll be here for you. We'll see you soon. Bye
Thank
for
you,
now.
Michael. That was a
Appreciate it.
great lesson. Thank you.
You bet. See ya.